We are here for a purpose. The purpose we are here for is CEEM. CEEM, Cooperative Economic Empowerment Movement. The purpose of CEEM is to give equity and access to business owners that look like us. And so that's the goal. We're gonna go ahead and get started with our first question. First question is about social impact. I'm gonna have the first panelists introduce themselves and talk about how they are personally bringing social impact from an individual level and through a business and a community level. So we'll start off with Ms. Cheryl Brown. And Cheryl Brown, I will ask you the question again. How are you personally bringing social impact to the community?
You know, I looked at that question, and I looked at us as a people. And I looked at it from a standpoint of philanthropy, because that was part of the question that you asked about. Do you know that in the African American community, we are the largest philanthropist? How many people out there go to church? Raise your hand. See that? People who go to church are always donating money. They donate their time. They also donate talent and their money. So we need to just know that we're doing the right thing and start doing it together in a better way, a more impactful way. And I think that's my answer.
Thank you. Karim Webb.
Hi, everybody. I'm Karim. I'm an entrepreneur. I own several Buffalo Wild Wings in and around L.A. I think really as being a business owner, you can have impact because you get to decide who you're going to hire, and you get to decide and implement the culture inside your business. So, you know, we have a philosophy that all of us have the same value in the eyesight of God. So to be able to work with young people who sometimes come from, regardless of where they come from in their background, to be able to say that while you're working here, you have value, and if you're outstanding at what you do here, that exercising the muscle of excellence will carry on to other things that you do in your life. And so as a business owner, I think that's one way that we leverage what we're doing for social impact.
Okay. So let me go back to Karim Webb real quick. So I would love for him to talk about Bloom real quick, if he doesn't mind.
Yeah, so, I mean, like both of the mayors, you know, I'm sure, you know, when you're a business owner, you get invited to do things, and one of the things that you get invited to sit on boards, you get to pay attention to who are nonprofits that are doing good work. One of them in L.A. is the Brother Crusade, and they have an initiative called Bloom, Building Lives, Opportunities, and Options for Men. It takes at-risk boys or boys that have had a brush with probation, and we get to work with them and help them not recidivate, graduate high school, and go on to be able to live productive lives. And we've been successful doing that now for over 800 kids in the last 5 years in L.A. So that's something I'm very passionate about. And again, being an employer, you get to employ these young people too. So the ones that want to come and have a job as they're matriculating through their process, kind of goes to what we were talking about in question number one.
Thank you. Thank you. Mayor Allen.
First of all, let me say it's a pleasure being here. I'm kind of an anomaly. I've been a city councilman and a mayor in the city of Covina for the last 20 years. But I have a real job. I've been in law enforcement for 44 years. Right now, I serve as the director of the Rio Hondo Police Academy at Rio Hondo College. The reason why I bring that up, I deal with young men, particularly Hispanic and black recruits that come to the academy that may have not had the best environment that they grew up in, and I'm able to, through that program, mentor these young men and women and have the opportunity to turn them into police officers. As a mayor of Covina, naturally, collaboration deals with many things when you're running a city. You have your service clubs. You have your faith-based organizations. You have your citizens, and of course you have your employees. All of those entities have to work as one to make the city run successfully and to have a good living environment and a good hometown atmosphere for the citizens that reside in the city. Collaboration deals with everything, doesn't it? Between a husband and a wife, between a parent and their children, and in the case of Covina, between all of those entities that I've mentioned. And again, it's a real pleasure to be here today.
All right, thank you so much. We're going to get into our next question. And so our next question deals with partnership and collaboration, as Mayor Allen just mentioned. And so we have all these different entities. And so I would like to ask the panel, how do we get these entities to work together for the benefit of black people and other underrepresented minority groups? I'll go with Mayor Allen.
Coming back to me, huh? In Covina, we encourage anyone that wants to open up business in our city, be you white, black, Hispanic, our doors are open. You come to our counters at the city, and we walk you through the process. We look for diversity in our community, and diversity makes things run well when you have a cross-section of entrepreneurs in a city, and also employees that match the faces of the community that work in the city. I think it's important that in a community that you utilize, as I indicated, the faith-based organizations, your service clubs, and another important entity is your Chamber of Commerce, as we have in Covina, to all work as one. We have a Downtown Business Association chamber. We also have our law enforcement community directly involved in a youth accountability board to work with our youth that are that have some troubling issues. We try to work with them. By the way, we work with our schools. We work with the school boards. You need all of those entities to work closely together and cooperate with one another to really run a fine-tuned city where the citizens are going to feel safe, because if they don't feel safe, that creates all sorts of problems. Where the citizens are safe, the kids can play at our playgrounds, and they don't have to worry about safety issues. And we have a thriving business community and welcoming arms to any entrepreneurs that want to come to our city. That's what we do in Covina.
Thank you.
You're next.
Okay.
We can go to Brother Webb.
Yeah, I think engagement matters, right? So as a citizen, I mean, obviously, if you're an elected official, you have a lot of things coming to you, and you're determining, how to create policy that moves the agenda forward of your constituents, right? As a citizen, it's up to us to decide, how we want to try to influence our policymakers in order to create legislation or policy that helps us create the society that we want. So my perspective or my approach as a business person is to be engaged, right? Go out there and do good work. And I think being a good business person also means being a good citizen, right? So giving of your talent in ways that don't directly benefit you, I think always ends up indirectly benefiting you, or in ways for your business that you didn't anticipate. I've definitely found that to be the case. And when you're in business, you typically start one place, but you want to grow. Businesses, we're always measuring kind of year-over-year growth and so on and so forth. When you know what's happening with the city, when you have a reputation for kind of doing the right things for the right reasons, you end up aligning yourself with policymakers, and I think that's how you collaborate.
Thank you. Ms. Brown.
Well, they said it all. They said it all. You do have to work with everyone in your community. But in the African American community, we do need to work with each other. Also knowing that our communities aren't like they used to be, more segregated. Our communities are more integrated now. But we have to learn to work with everyone. One of the issues right now that I think we need to look at is how we can work with senior citizens, older adults, and also work with youth at the same time. There's some intergenerational things going on that are very, very important, because that's how you bind your community together, is bringing everyone of all ages out to do whatever it is that you want to have done. I've been a journalist, I've been a business owner, I've been a policy maker, I've been all those things. It always comes back to the most important thing is us working with each other. Being able to look in the mirror and be happy with what you see.
All right, thank you guys. We'll get into the next question. So the next question deals with having a lasting impact. So the work that we're engaged in now, we want it to outlast us. So after we're gone, we want our work to carry on. And so what I would like to ask the panelists is, from your experience, what activities provide a lasting impact? Like, what have you done within the city, within your community, that has been the most fruitful? That's what I'll ask. And I'll go with Ms. Brown.
You know, it's really interesting. I was talking about intergenerational things. That by itself is something that's lasting, because it's the older adults teaching the younger adults about life and about what they need to do to be successful. I think that as a policymaker, policies count. Policy, if you're talking to your assembly member and the policies that they make, I always tell people this: if a law is passed that says everyone has to have a red car, then everyone has to have a red car. So you have to know your policymakers so that you can affect the change that you want in your community, and not listen to everything that everyone else says, but what's good for you.
Mr. Webb?
Yeah, I think with respect to lasting impact is, like Mayor Brown said, really the people that are coming behind us, and modeling, what's possible. And then, younger people, typically will have a different way about going to do it, and hopefully extend that conversation and the modality, and measure results. So, as a business person, there's things that feel good or not, but at the end of the day, we're measuring results. We're looking at the profit and loss statement, so it's holding everybody and ourselves accountable to measurable results, and doing things, and evaluating what's working, what's not working, and continuing to find ways to do things that do work and that move, the results in the direction that we want to see for ourselves. Yeah.
Thank you.
I have two separate categories. One is the mayor, and one is the director of a police academy. As a mayor, we have embarked on infrastructure repair. We had water pipes that were 100 years old. We had streets that were in ill repair, and the list just goes on and on. We had a senior center that was unfit to be occupied. That senior center will be up and running next year. Our streets are going to be paved now because we just laid new water pipe. So my objective, along with my colleagues on the city council, is to make sure that the infrastructure and the public safety issues are solid, so our community can get fresh water, drive on streets without damaging their vehicle, and have a sewage system that works properly. And that's going to be a legacy that I hope to leave in the city. On the other hand, as a director of a police academy, as you know, you hear in the news every day about issues with particularly the black community, other minority communities, and the police. There are 37 police academies in the state of California. We are just one of those academies. Each academy receives the same instructional material. We have the same instructional material, same instruction that we would give, that LAPD gives, or the Sheriff's Department gives, or San Bernardino Sheriffs. But one thing I've done at Rio Hondo, a police academy, we've added another component to the instruction. You see, at the police academy, we teach these new cadets that are going to be police officers after about 6 months. We give them warrior tools. We give them warrior skills. We tell them how to use these warrior tools. But one thing we want to do, we make guardians at Rio Hondo. That means that when our cadets who are going to be police officers, that police officer, when they contact the public, they're going to give a citizen that citizen's voice. They're going to listen to that citizen. They're going to be trustworthy. They're going to be just. Those are things that we're really pushing, and that is a legacy that I want to leave for the new officers that are going to be servicing the streets of Los Angeles County.
Thank you so much. Next question. I just want to commend all of our panelists on the excellent work that they're doing in the community. Please give them a round of applause real quick just for the work that they're doing. They're very passionate about the work that they're doing. So my next question is, how can we get involved? So our audience members, community members, what can we do to get involved and to help? And so I'll start with Ms. Brown.
I have a few ideas about that. Number one, since this is a CEEM event, we need you to come and join us so that we can make a difference. Another thing is each family needs to look at a business that your family can do. It's really important that you become self-sufficient and that you don't, our money in our community turns over. Somebody was saying this morning, I think it might have been Debbie Allen or one of them, they were saying, you know, the money comes in our community, it goes out in less than 20 minutes. We have to learn how to support each other in business once we start those businesses. But getting involved with the NAACP, getting involved with your church, that should have been first, but with your church, get involved. Have your church not just go on Sunday morning and pray, but whenever you get off your knees, get up and do something. Get up and help. Help, again, those seniors that need your help. There are people in your community that need that help. And those are the ways that you get involved and you become relevant. Put a little group together. Maybe it's just a group of 3, 4, 5 people, and then have a message, have a mission. Do it, and you will make a difference, and you will have a social impact that you won't believe.
Brother Karim Webb, same question to you.
Yeah, I think we all just have to dig within ourselves and figure out, you know, what are we afraid of, right? And not be operating from fear, but operate from love and what's possible. You know, and I think entrepreneurship is not for everybody, but finding ways to improve our community and be more conscientious about the way that we behave with one another, you know, starting with the church. And like Mayor Brown said, like, where do we spend our money? Like, what decisions are we making? Who's your doctor? Who's your lawyer? Who's your dentist? Where are you going to dinner? Maybe not all the time, but some of the time. Who's providing your child care? And, you know, everybody wants to send their kids to college, and business owners need business. And a lot of times our businesses are the last ones that people go to, not the first. So it's really just being conscientious, I think. And most importantly, join CEEM while you're here and go over to that booth and find out more about what is it to be a part of the cooperative economic empowerment movement.
Thank you. Brother Allen?
This is one that kind of hits home. You know, I come from a broken family, the typical sad story that many of us may have, downing from Oakland, California. I ask that the men in the audience, the black men in particular, ask you to mentor someone if you're not mentoring someone. What saved me was the great mentors I had, white and black, that mentored me as a young child and as a young adult. And I would have never known that I have had some of the achievements I've been able to accomplish. And I owe that all to my mentors. So all of you men, white and black, mentor these young men. Make them responsible young adults, because that's where we really need to do some work. You agree with me on that? All right.
All right, so this concludes our panel. Please give a round of applause to our panelists. They did an amazing job. Thank you for coming out. We know you guys are busy. And so in closing, join CEEM, join CEEM, join CEEM. Right over there. See the gentleman waving his hand? Just go right over there, get your membership, and support. Thank you guys for being attentive and a great audience. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.